This choosing beggar claims to be homeless and in need of feeding his grandchildren, but when the driver of this car hands him food, he gets mad instead. It's only until they turn the corner that the truth is revealed about this choosing beggar. Happy birthday if today's your birthday, and on with the show. In the story is CB, choosing beggar, me, myself. I think that might be obvious. So I was browsing an online local marketplace, Gumtree, looking in the pet section for a rabbit hutch. I was scrolling down the pet section when I saw a picture of a frail looking black cat with the title, "Need Gone ASAP Moving." I couldn't ignore this despite not looking for a cat. There have been so many horror stories about people picking up free cats from Gumtree to use as bait in dogfights. I clicked on the picture and the listing said something along the lines of 10-year-old female cat free to a good home, moving in 5 days and can't take it with me. They had a phone number on the website, so I quickly composed a text. They responded pretty much instantly, and the exchange went something like this. "Hi, I was wondering if anybody has taken your cat. If they haven't, I'm able to provide her with a good home."
"No, they have not, and we are moving in 5 days.
Blunt reply, I thought. No questions or response to me having the cat. Okay, well I could come and get her this evening, or I could wait until moving day if you wanted some more time with her. It's up to you. She'll have a nice life here. I have another elderly black cat she can play with. What food is she on?
Come get her tonight."
Inserts address.
"It doesn't eat cat food, we just feed it chicken and things."
Okay, see you around 5 PM if that's okay. Is she up to date with flea or worm treatment and vaccinations?
"Yes, 5 PM and yes it is."
Okay, see you then. About 3 hours go past and I get a text from her. Bearing in mind this cat was listed as free to a good home, and the fact that cats, at least in the UK, usually don't sell unless they're a designer breed, as there are so many unwanted strays already. Kittens can make 30 to 50 pounds, but cats, usually nothing.
"Make sure you bring the correct amount of money, I don't have change."
The cat was listed as free to a good home. How much do you want for the cat? I wasn't looking to get another cat, to be honest. I just saw your listing and thought she was in need, so I offered her a home.
"I want £45 because that's how much I paid for its donation fee when I adopted it in 2013. Got someone else interested that is going to pay."
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking to buy a cat. I think we have our wires crossed. I was concerned about the cat not having a home because you're moving, so I offered her a place. I'm not actually looking to purchase another cat, but I was willing to give a home to one that was in need. If your cat's not in need, then it's best you give it to the other person, so I can keep my eye out for animals that urgently need a home. CB doesn't reply for an hour or so, even though our text exchanges are usually instant.
"The cat is getting put to sleep then."
This in the UK means euthanized.
"Other person changed their mind and no rescue will take it because it's age."
You don't need to put her to sleep, I'll have her.
"But I get nothing and you get my cat."
Because you said you can't take her. Surely it's best she goes to a loving home rather than be killed. Plus you have to pay to get her to put to sleep, so you'll be out of pocket.
"No, I don't have to pay because the PDSA are doing it for free. I've just made an appointment for tomorrow."
PDSA are a UK charity that provides basically free vet care to those on government support in exchange for a donation. At this point I was getting fed up and just decided that I would pay the money, as I was fed up with the back and forth and I didn't want her to actually euthanize the cat. "I have the money, so please cancel the appointment. I'll be there at 5 PM like we agreed."
"Okay."
I turn up to their home at 5 PM on the dot. I've brought a cat carrier with me as I'm not expecting she will come with anything. I am greeted by a rough looking woman in a house that smells like and has no carpets, just bare stained floor. The walls were yellow from nicotine and there was a punch mark in the living room door. I can hear dogs barking from the garden. Despite this, I'm polite and I'm led into the living room where the cat is asleep on the sofa. There is a cat bed in the corner which has a mother cat in feeding about 6 to 7 tiny baby kittens. I sit down to stroke her, during which I see 2 more cats stroll in the living room, one obviously heavily pregnant, although these cats seem a lot younger and healthier than the one I was taking. I thought it was odd as she said she was moving in 5 days, but there was no evidence of packing and there was several paint pots that had been tested on the walls as if they were in the process of redecorating. Anyway, I paid £50. I only had 2 £20 notes and a £10, so I just gave her that. She then had the audacity to ask if myself or anyone I knew would be interested in a kitten auction for £60. I said no, I scooped up the cat and got the heck out of there. I realized in the car that the cat was infested with fleas. I didn't know what to do, but I have 3 small children, so I couldn't risk a flea infection in our house. Instead, I put her in the summer house in the garden, which has a sofa, pillows, blankets, etc. in, and let her spend the night in there. In the morning, I took her out and have since completely fumigated it. I took her to the vet, who treated her for a number of problems, including fleas, worms, severe malnutrition, she weighed half of what she should, burn marks on her belly, which the vet described as looking like they were done with a cigarette, a severe heart murmur, overbreeding. The vet said it was apparent that she had been used a significant amount of times to have kittens. The vet also told me the cat wasn't 10, but about 17. The vet took the details of the woman who I got her from, as he said he was going to report her, as he'd never seen a cat in this bad of a shape. A hefty vet's bills later, and we were both home. She loves her new life here, and has really come out of her shell. She loves her cat friend. I don't know how long she has left, and the heart murmur is pretty bad. The vet said it wouldn't have got to this stage if it was detected and operated on much sooner, but for now, she is loving life. A happy ending to this story about a piece of crap CB. Okay, so that crazy cat lady obviously had some kind of scam going on. She must know all the little details to put in there. Like, for example, saying that she's giving away the cat for free so it gets lots of people's attention, especially those who are like, well, this cat needs a home, and they don't want to see it go to a bad place. I also doubt there was anyone else interested in paying the money. It's like she's farming cats from her house. It's kind of creepy. You would think if enough time goes on that enough people are going to report her and she's going to get found out. I can't imagine something like that is legal, but I'm not sure. If you know, let me know in the comments below. I was selling a skateboard deck for roughly 20 bucks, 2k in my country's currency, on a site that is my country's version of eBay or Craigslist. I mentioned everything that the buyer needed to know, including a drilled hole in the tail of the board, which is more of an aesthetic problem than an actual problem. Plus, this board was pretty much secondhand since I've used it. So a dude sends me a message via SMS at like 3 AM, because you can leave your phone number so they can contact you faster, and asks me everything which was already listed on the listing: size, the wear, and price. I repeat myself here and mention the hole too. The dude probably didn't read anything and just saw a picture of the board and immediately contacted me. He lowballs me for 10 bucks, not at all worth it, and asks me to send it immediately. I decline the offer and say the lowest I can go is 15 bucks, and then it starts. I can't pay that much. I want to get it for my kid, and I saw that someone was already selling a complete skateboard for 20 bucks. 10 bucks is fair enough, and I can send you the details for the shipping. The board is too big for my kid though, so he'll use it when he grows up. Also, what about the hole you mentioned? This is a rough translation, but even in my language, everything is all over the place, with like 10 questions in a sequence. I decline again and tell him that he should get that then. I also tell him to look at the actual listing to see the wear and the hole. It was pretty late, so I go to sleep for a bit. My phone starts ringing at 5 AM. It's the guy and I ignore it. He calls me again at 6 and at 10 AM. I was stupid for not muting the sound on my phone. I tell him that I'm not interested, and he then offers me a whopping 12 bucks. I just ignore it and finally mute my phone. In the morning, another guy offers me my original price for the board, and I agree with that. That guy just asked me to save the board for him for a couple of days, to which I agreed. I tell the other dude that it's reserved now, and that I got the price I wanted. He then gets ticked off, tells me that he called me first and that he's willing to give me 15 bucks for it. True, you did call me first, but you lowballed me. He had a better offer. Why would I sell the deck to you when I can get more money for it? I told you my lowest price and you declined. Not a problem. Kid, the deck is too big for my son. A smaller deck would suit him better, but there's time for that. Plus, the problem is the hole you were talking about. The other dude that offered you higher probably wouldn't buy it in the end. Don't get your hopes up. Classic CB stuff when he doesn't get his way. I still don't realize how the deck being too big is my problem. He knew the measurements. Not once did he mention that he had a problem with the hole until now. Of course, I declined again and told him I'm saving the board for the other dude. He then replies rather normally, "No problem, just call me back if he backs out of buying the board." A couple of days pass and I sell the board to the other dude, and I tell CB see that it is sold. He does the mature thing and starts flexing. He rambled on how he got 2 boards for 20 bucks. Highly doubt that, because there were no boards being sold that cheap on the site during that time. What a sad man. Glad I didn't sell it to him. Often these marketplace websites have reputations for sellers, but not for the buyers, and I really wish that was more of the case, because if somebody with like 1 star's coming to try and buy something off you, you're like, yeah, I don't think I want to sell it to this guy. Reputation-based systems aren't 100% perfect, but they're pretty good. I'm grateful for those marketplace websites, but at the same time, they still need a little bit more work before they're at a place where it's like, okay, I have a pleasant experience like 99% of the time. Right now it's like 50-50. While waiting in my car to pick my husband up from work with our almost 2-year-old son in the back, a random guy waved at me for my attention from the sidewalk. I rolled down my passenger side window, the one nearest him, and he immediately started thanking me profusely for acknowledging him. Okay? I got a feeling where this is going, so I'll preface by saying that if anyone begs me for money, I have a personal policy that I will never give cash. I've been conned one too many times, but I'll always give out water and/or snacks. With a toddler, I usually have those on hand. He gives me one of the many creative stories I have heard over and over. We have quite a few beggars in our small town. This time, it's that his grandchildren are starving and he needs some food for them. He seemed surprised when I immediately said, okay, here you go, and handed him 2 granola bars. These are the overpriced toddler superfood granolas too. I try to get the good stuff for my son. The man shakes his head and says no, that he wants to get his children some bologna and cheese, and if he can save money to buy them food, they won't starve. I told them all I have are these granolas and hand them to him out the window. He asks again for money, and I say, I don't have cash on me, but these will keep them fed until you can get them some bologna. I wish him well and say that I hope this will do for now. The beggar man looks me dead in the eye and says, no, it won't. Then he turns around and takes the granolas with him. Whatever, I tried. My husband gets in the car and we leave. As I rounded the corner, the beggar man is walking up to the crosswalk as we approach a light. He doesn't see us. I watched him toss the granolas as high as he can into the air and keep walking up to the light. He seemed really annoyed. I was too. I couldn't believe not just how ungrateful, but the audacity to waste good food and litter. So I pulled my car over into the parking lot at the light and got out. He saw me. The granolas were right in between both us, and he turned right around to snatch them up. I walked up. I am not confrontational by nature, super mad. He said some bullcrap about being so happy that he threw them in the air to catch them. Bullcrap, I just watched you. You tossed them and walked away. Those were for my baby, and I will take them back if you don't want them. He said it's fine, he'll eat them, and proceeded to open one and take a bite. So I just asked flatly, what about your grandchildren? He turned and walked away. What I found, and this is just from my experience personally, is that people who are truly in need are sometimes either too proud or too ashamed to ask for it. And even if you offer them something, even money, they'll say no. They'll want to make their own way in life and they don't want to be a burden. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who's a beggar, like a literal beggar, and comes up and asks for money isn't in need. I'm sure there are. But the trick is, it's not like there's some magic way or some scanning device that will tell you is this person genuinely in need or not. So I guess it's up to you to make that judgment call each time. Some people have a blanket policy for everyone who approaches them, like this lady with only giving snacks or drinks of water, and I think that's, pretty good idea. But every person has to work out for themselves how generous they want to be and who they want to be generous to, because if you're generous to one person who doesn't really need it, then you can't be generous to another person who really does. I'm an artist that makes money off commissions. I lost my job at the start of the pandemic and have been relying on these commissions as my main source of income since. I mainly post my art on Tumblr. My following is pretty decent, and I get some exposure on my posts through the use of hashtag and whatnot. About a week ago, my account was suspended. I'm all for racial equality and the BLM movement. I'm aware of the racial injustices going on in this country, and I believe there needs to be a change. About a week ago, I started having problems with this user. She would comment under my posts promoting her own art and page after a while. It got pretty annoying, but I let it slide. And then she started dropping her PayPal and Venmo in my comments. So I messaged her about this, kindly by the way, and told told her I wasn't too fond of her promoting her stuff under my work, as it was my main source of income. She began to call me racist and a bigot. I was honestly confused because I didn't think anything was wrong with me asking to stop shameless promoting on my artwork. She got very angry and said that I was taking away from a black creator herself, and that the whiteys need to let the black community flourish. Again, I was confused, as my bio clearly stated I was Mexican, lol. I told her that I understand the frustrations of everything going on, but that this was my page and I'm allowed to do with it what I want. So I deleted her comments and whatnot. A few hours later, my account was suspended for hate speech. I'm trying to get my account back, by the way. Okay, that's really messed up, and I hope they get their account back quickly. There are of course real issues of inequality, and if you think that spamming on somebody else's page and then them getting upset about it is somehow an issue of inequality, then my guess is that you've never really experienced inequality in your life. Honestly, if that's the worst oppression that's happening to you, is someone getting mad at you for spamming, then you don't have any right to claim oppression. All it does is belittle those who are actually suffering.
Submit your story to be read on the channel at voiceyherestories@gmail.com and join our Voicey veteran community at r/VoiceyHere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. Alright, Voicey veterans, I'll see you in the next one.